Our next speaker. How do you say this? How old do you have to be to start doing things? When do you start? Where do you march ahead with your ideas? Our youngest speaker here at TEDx Dubai, Abulhoul.
Okay. Abulhoul, a 9th grader, 13 years old. What in the world can I possibly be doing as a speaker at TEDx Dubai? I personally am confused, but don't judge me yet. She's just 13, what can she do? This is the type of thinking I want to change in people, and this is why I'm here. To prove to not only you, the audience, but to the entire world that age is in fact nothing but a number. And if you look at it in a much more logical aspect, you'd notice that your age is nothing but a mere proof of how many years you have lived on planet Earth. And after my perspective, do you still think that age is a fair factor to be judged upon? Certainly not. Okay, so growing up, I've always had this ambition and dream for filmmaking and animation, and my #1 goal, and up till this date, is to get an Oscar. I want to be the first Arab to ever win an Oscar. Thank you. And so this dream, like everyone who ever knew me knew this. And so one day I remember going to my parents and I was like, I want to win an Oscar. I want to be a director. And obviously they were very supportive. But they told me 3 things. You need to get an education, you need to have experience, and obviously you need to grow up. Again with the numbers. So I was an obedient child. And I listened to them. I waited for 2 years till I was about 10 years old. And yeah, I got fed up, honestly. And so I went up to my parents. My brother came up to me one day, and he offered me lessons on animation and how to just basically do short animation. And from there, I did my first 30-second animation. And honestly, at that point, I felt like I was queen of the world or something. I did something. I didn't have to wait till after college. And so, how does it work? Okay, so remember the Oscar dream? Yeah, well, I've always had, as I said, I always wanted to be an Oscar. But one day I was hit by reality and realized that I don't have the Oscar-winning idea. And that's a shocker. So... So I went up to my room one night, and I was just so sick and so tired, like I wanted that idea. And it just hit me. I had this scene of a skeletal green man, and I had no idea what it was. I had no idea what the backstory was. I just knew that if I developed a story from there, that I'd get it. And I did. For 2 months, I just kept on writing and writing till I had this stack of 80 pages of ideas. And it was titled of Galagolia. Don't get me started on the name. So then, as I kept on writing, my sister one day came up to me, and she told me about this Gulf Film Festival. And she said that, it's a film festival, you submit your movies, they get screened, it's a chance to meet other directors. And I was like, really? Is there an age limit? And she was like, I don't know. I was like, forget about the age limit. Is there a deadline? She's like, yeah, in 12 days. I was like, hey, I'm going to finish a movie in 12 days. And she just looked at me blankly, and she was like, are you sure you're going to finish a movie in 12 days? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, but it's impossible. The only response I had for her was, watch me, So I did, actually. I finished the movie in 12 days. I finished the script, I finished the animation, the voice, everything. I finished it in 12 days and sent it off to Media City without checking the age limit. So a few months later, I got a reply from the Gulf Film Festival that I was accepted. And just for 5 blank seconds, when I read the email, I just forgot about the film festival, obviously. And I went there. I showed up. There was this red carpet, and my movie got screened, and it was all these directors. And I was just happy to be there. And on the closing night, I figured out that I was UAE's youngest animating director at the age of 11. And I have no idea who did it, but some newspapers did research, took the subject, and a few weeks later I realized that I was Middle East's youngest animating director. Yeah. So obviously I didn't stop there. I did a new movie, a much more longer movie. It's 7 minutes, much longer. First one was 2.5. So obviously, and I participated with it in the second film festival. Yeah, this was me getting the award. Yes, forgot that slide. Yeah, and this was the second film festival. I still, and up to this date, own the title. Obviously. Okay. So, second thing, what I try to portray through my book, my work and my movies is something I like to call tradition, and probably most people know as tradition. So it's something valuable to me because growing up, I've always read books. I'm such a bookworm, and I've always watched movies, and all I learn is American heritage and, just English heritage. And not once have I come across a book or a movie that sort of has this Emirati setting that I can actually relate to. So through my books and through my movies, I portray that. So the message is, we've been learning about you. It's time you learned about us. Okay. So obviously, I have no idea where the road takes me. There's obviously no stopping me at this point. Obviously. And and it's about the surprises. I want to get a book out. I want to be, I just want to be the first. I just want to do something. And till I reach college, I would have a list of stuff. So there's one thing that I want to say. If there's one thing that I learned from, my past experience is that to get something, whatever you want to do, you can do it as long as you believe. Believing is the key. And a proof of that is, if you look back to a few years ago, who would have expected me to, enter a film festival, do a movie, be here, say speech, actually, And it's all great, honestly. So the key to everything in what you do is believing. Okay, so summing up, I'm just going to tell you a short incident that happened to me not long ago. I have this Facebook group where I update my friends and family about my latest work. And so a girl came up to me one day from my school, a girl whom I don't really know a lot about, came up to me and she was like, you're writing a novel. And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, what plans do you have for it? I was like, I want to publish it, now, at this age. And she's like, but before I walk away from all you people, she said, but you're 13. The only response I had for her was, exactly. I am 13, and I am going to do it, and no one can stop me at this point. There's this quote that I want to share with all of you that really has inspired me. It's by Abraham Lincoln. He once said, and in the end, it's not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.